Well, everything has changed, hasn't it? I suspect that when people go back in the autumn to whatever educational institution they're involved in, life is going to be very different, and it won't simply be a matter of doing what has been sort of catapulted over everybody in the last few weeks. I doubt if the level of engagement or energy is sustainable. So here are four talks on things that you might think about doing, ways of structuring the teaching and learning that you are delivering or participating in. And the first one is simply looking at what will teaching and learning look like in the future. My interest in this is that with a group of colleagues over several years, we moved a module which was all face-to-face delivery to a mixed mode of delivery. And we took the assessment from a single exam at the end of the year to a two-stage single assessment based on threshold assessing methods. Also, in order to do this, we had to track the students quite carefully. We had to develop some of the infrastructure ourselves. We had to work out what to do with the data. We used the data to make day-to-day decisions, week to week, and we also used it to assess the module at the end of each year before going into the next year. We're getting ready to publish some of the correlations between the engagements of students and their final grades. There were lots of practical challenges that we faced. So here's a very simple model of a student as a knowledge seeker. I've not done direct research in this area. This comes from some work I did over several years, over many years, in healthcare, looking at healthcare knowledge seekers, patients, carers, doctors, nurses, physios, and others. And I've given a couple of references there. The student will be looking for various sources to get information from written stuff that they can write themselves, stuff that's written for them, stuff that they can alter and make notes on. And of course, there's a whole range of online material these days. As soon as students start to talk to one another or to talk to a staff member, often they're doing more than simply accessing information. They're interacting in a different sort of a way. And to me, that's fascinating because that creates two worlds of learning. One which is interactive, where the material you're dealing with is essentially passive, and one which is interpersonal, where you may be in a dialogue that involves analyzing ideas, taking them apart, or putting them together again. Academics will always have to specify what's in a module, what the scope is, what the scale of learning is, what the standard's going to be, and they'll also have to take responsibility for content, although increasingly in future it may be curating that content rather than creating it from scratch or at the front of a room. Finally, students will always need somebody to guide them through and to work with them to set an example for them. And so that leads us to a very simple three-phase module: hard learning that students do on their own, tough groups where they engage with each other and with some kind of a mentor or a teacher, and then a stretching assessment that they learn through, but that also enables them to evaluate their learning. I met Jim Smith at a funeral of all places, and we got talking. I downloaded his book when I got home and had a look at his website, and he's done a lot to think about how to empower school children in their learning and to take them from being passive recipients to active managers of their learning. And I think at this time, it's a really important set of insights for further and higher education. It's possible you're looking for a bit more information. You want to know about how to make the measurement system work. You want to know about how to work with your own institution's virtual learning environment or learning management system. Perhaps you want to know how to go about migrating your syllabus to a more online or blended version without an avalanche of paperwork and bureaucracy hitting your head. Or perhaps you're just interested in getting the right data and using it very practically. So, to find out more, get in touch with me. I'm happy to call, I'm happy to Skype, I'm happy to Zoom, but let me know what you'd like. If you're interested in this at all, let me know, and I'd like to develop more material in a better way.